One of the symbols of the violence has been the closure of the N3 highway between Joburg and KwaZulu-Natal. Freight and logistics operators now welcoming the fact that it has been reopened. It does mean, of course, that goods can now flow from the port of Durban through to Gauteng, but also that food and other supplies can move to KZN. Goods to the value of around 3 billion rand travel on this highway every day. Tanya Dugra is the N3 toll concession spokesperson. Tanya, good afternoon to you. I mean, this must be a huge relief. I imagine your highway is also pretty busy.
Hi, Stephen. Well, I think you can see from the smile on my face that I'm very happy to be able to report that the N3 toll route is fully open to traffic. Yes, well, we did have an initial influx of vehicles this morning, I think, as soon as the announcement came through that vehicles were free to travel. But what we're seeing now is just a steady flow, smooth flow of traffic through all the toll plazas, no queues.
We know that obviously the area around Moy River was where trucks were set alight a week ago now. I presume those safety precautions, I'd like to think that the SANDF police are taking the N3 very, very seriously today.
Very much so. There's a highly visible presence of law enforcement on the route, and all the Route Traffic Inspectorate, South African National Defence Force and South African Police Services are taking the matter very seriously and, like I said, are highly visible.
One of the problems we've seen, particularly in Durban, is around petrol supplies. Now, someone setting off from Durban, maybe looking for petrol. There are plenty of petrol stations along your route. I don't know if they've had much business. Are you seeing queues outside petrol stations? Is it possible to know at this stage what is going on regarding petrol on the route?
Even at this stage, I haven't received any reports of queues outside of fuel stations. I would advise, though, that road users should please check in with the service stations themselves. Unfortunately, we can't provide statistics about what their supply is at this stage. But, obviously a lot of companies have been affected by the fuel shortage and supply shortage, so it would be good to just check beforehand.
I imagine some of the groups, if they're clever, will be updating people on Twitter. You don't even need Twitter, just Google the name and see what happens. So in these situations, I mean, what's happened over the last week's never happened before in the history of the N3 toll concession that I can remember, where it was closed for so long. You'll be relieved that it's going. Obviously, it'll take a while for traffic patterns to return to normal. You're probably going to have fits and starts for a while. You're going to have periods of high traffic and periods of low traffic until everything evens out again.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, it's early days, and, the news just came through earlier today. But in addition to, people wanting to get in and out of the provinces, you've also got to take into consideration that we do still have a COVID pandemic that's active, and there are still those regulations that are in effect. And so road users also need to take cognizance of that in planning their travels.
Tanya Dugra from the N3 toll concession, I really do appreciate the time. Thank you very much indeed. And yes, I can see the relief on your face. Well.